Howdy, folks. Welcome to the channel Rockin' the Country. I'm Don. I've got a gift request from GW, George Woodruff. And I was actually in New York City last night, I had dinner with my two surrogate daughters, and with Lex and Wit. It was fantastic. And I didn't take the GW Bridge. I took the Holland Tunnel because we had dinner in the West Village, and the Holland Tunnel's way easier. But anyway, every time I think of your initials, I think of... sometimes I think of the George Washington Bridge, but thank you for this gift and request. George Woodruff is George Jones's worldwide #1 fan, but I refer to George Woodruff as GW because when I'm commenting and I'm like, and George said this, it's like, well, some people might think George Jones may have said that at some point, but no, it's GW. And I didn't know that George Jones was the originator of the song Ole Red. I had thought it was Blake, and I'm pretty sure that I reacted to Blake's rendition of this song because it's a really good song. And my friend Lindsay Wallerman, who has since passed, she sent me this CD because Blake was on Warner Nashville and she was Warner's Northeast radio rep. And this is how I got to know her, through a mutual friend, Frankie Ballard, who was on the label too. Yada, yada, yada. She sends me the CD and I'm like, I really like Blake, and I got into and I really like this song. It's really well crafted. Now we're going to hear George Jones's rendition. But GW said that a lot of folks think Blake Shelton's version is better, but GW thinks otherwise, as you should. If you're George Jones's worldwide #1 fan, of course you're going to think that. So let's get into this. I do not think that I've heard ever George Jones's rendition of this. Oh, yeah.
My wife with another man. Now I'm doing 99 at a prison down in Georgia, close to the Florida line. I've been here for 12 long years, and I finally made the warden my friend. So he sentenced me to a life of ease.
It took him 12 years to get to that point.
Now Red, he's the dangest dog this old boy has ever seen. He's got a nose that can smell a 2-day trail, Lord, he's a 4-legged dragging machine. Just consider yourself mighty lucky to get past the gators and the quicksand beds. But all these years that I've been here, ain't nobody got past Red. Hear the warden say, come on somebody, why don't you run? Old Red's itching to have a little fun. Get my lantern, get my gun, Red'll have you treat
have
for
you
the
what
morning
when the morning comes? Trail?
I paid off a guard and he slipped out a letter to my cousin in Tennessee. He brought down me a blue tick cow, Lord, she's pretty as she could be. Pinned her up in the swampland, about a mile just south of the gate. And when I take old Red on his evening run, I just drop him off and wait. Hear the warden say, come on somebody, why don't you run? Old Red's itching to have a little fun. Get my lantern, get my gun, Red'll have you treat for the morning come.
Here's the thing about prisoners. They've got nothing but time, and they're always scheming to get out because nobody wants to be penned up. Nobody wants to be in the 6x10 cell or whatever the dimensions are. Nobody. And you're just constantly scheming, how can I get out of here?
Now old Red got used to seeing his little lady there every night. So I kept him away for 3 or 4 days, and I waited till the time was right. I made my run with the evening sun, and I smiled when I heard him let him out. 'Cause I headed north to Tennessee, and old Red was headed south. I hear the warden say, come on somebody, why don't you run? Old Red's itching to have a little fun. Get my lantern, get my gun, Red'll have your treat for the morning come. Now there's some red-haired blue ticks all through the South. Love got me in there and love got me out.
I always thought that a better ending, a better conclusion to that song, instead of it being love got me in and love got me out, said cheating got me in and cheating got me out. Because cheating, he shot his ex because she was cheating. And then Red was cheating by going south, basically, instead of doing Red's job while he's running north. I don't know. That was just my take on it. I always thought that that would be a nice alternate ending to that song, but I know the storyline. I've heard the song many times of Blake's. First time I heard George do it, and of course, George, it's his song. And it's funny because, like, with I Will Always Love You, I'd always thought that was Whitney Houston's song until I found out it was Dolly's. And then you go back and you hear Dolly's, and you could see why Whitney would have covered it. But Dolly makes a song her own, just like George does. And you could see why Blake would have wanted to do this one. But absolutely, it's I mean, George just puts a stamp on anything he does. Can I even rate that? I mean, having had Blake's song reverberating in my head so much, the GW, I'm going to refrain from rating it because it's not virginal in a sense. I mean, the structure of the song was the same. The lyrics were basically the same. It certainly would have been high 9s, maybe even a 10. But I think I'm going to put that in the unrated playlist just because I want to leave it sort of virginal of George's. But like, if George was the lyricist for this, it's a brilliant song. It's a brilliant concept. And it's the kind of thing where once you get the idea, you got to flesh it out. And the idea would be, all right, I'm in prison and there's a dog, and I got to be with the dog. So it's kind of could write itself once you have that part of it. Other songs you could tell are way more difficult to get the nuances of the song worked out. And this would have taken a little bit, like how to get the message to his cousin. Well, once you hear it, well, he paid off a guard and, slipped a note to his cousin up in Tennessee. He'd have to be visiting for the guard to slip him the note, most likely. But it could have also been like, he couldn't have a prison phone call with him. It could have been, I mailed a letter, but that would have been seen. So he would have had to have had a payoff. But how did he get to be taking care of old Red? Like, these details, you have to make them believable. And that takes time. And he did. So I'm going to do two things on this one, GW. I'm going to put this in the songs of 9 and above. And I'm going to put it in the unrated playlist because I didn't rate it exactly, only because, like I said, I had Blake's song playing in my head too because I always knew what was coming. And Blake copied it almost, not exactly. I mean, there's some differences, obviously, but very, very closely. So that's how we're going to play that one. All right, GW in Oklahoma City, thank you, my friend, for this one. And to my friends over in the UK, like Fen Laurie and Carl Anderson and others, have a wonderful day. I'll see you on another video and keep rocking the country.